heshima, tuungane mikono pamoja kazini, kila siku tuwe na shukrani.
Thank you. We may have our seats. Thank you. So Mheshimiwa, karibu sana. I hope you had a good day. We've been following you online and we're seeing a lot of success in what the work you're doing at Harvard. And I know most of us here, if not all, we've really been following. But this is not the first time that we started following Mheshimiwa. We started following you the first day that you decided the kids in every primary school in Keharo means something. They not only mean something, but even the outcome. And we've listened to you, and I ended up even learning now that people are migrating from all over Kenya to Keharo because there's good stuff in there. Wow. I know you're a numbers guy and your data. I don't know, do you have the numbers of how many people are moving from coast? God knows from where. So people are actually moving from your counties to Keharo because of good leadership. And we're very honored tonight to have the person who is carrying the vision, the person who we followed, the person who we have seen really in our midst tonight. Thank you for taking the time and being with us here. I'd like to acknowledge the team that really also made this happen. If you could stand up wherever you are. I know there are other people who are not here, but Mr. Utika's engineer, where's the engineer? If you could just raise it, Mr. Engineer, I would like just to see you. Yes, that's Engineer Karibu Sana, and welcome to Massachusetts. This is the man who really pushed to make it work. We have our friend right there and my brother Utika's. Thank you for all the great work. Then we have a team that was here, Mr. Jenga. Thank you so much, Mr. Thuo. Let the team just stand up, please. Could you please? No, come here. Change your heart. Like, come here, the team. Come here, Mr. Thuo and everybody else. Mr. Utikas, come down. We'd like to appreciate you guys. You don't have to be a mile away. You can be next to us. That's okay. You know, this is a good team. It's a good team. So just say your name real quick, and really quick. This is the team that really worked so hard. This is your team, the team that loves you, the team that supports, and also a team that prays for you. Thank you.
Praise the Lord. Yeah, my name is Ayutka Swakiri. I'm a former resident of Worcester, Massachusetts for a long time, and later migrated to Oregon. We're pleased to have you, Honorable, and thank you for being here today. Appreciate it. Thank you.
God is good, and all the time. That's his scripture. My name is Tom Bugwa. I'm one of the Kenyan community leaders here in Law, Mashino. Karibu sana. Sisi ndio tumeshikilia hii kijiji na karibu sana.
Good afternoon, guys. First and foremost, I welcome you, Mheshimiwa. I've been your support since the day we started the campaign, and whatever you have been doing, and you are very much grateful for you being among us this afternoon. Mimi naitwa General Service Unit. Kila kitu ikitokea, I'm there, and I was among the organizing team. So just in case anything needed, I'm here from security, party, preaching, and everything. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. To the Mheshimiwa, I'm so grateful to be here. My name is Engineer Ndindi Nyoro. All the way from the West, which is Oregon. And when I heard Mheshimiwa told me that I'll be coming on this side, I feel it like you guys are so lucky. We tried to push him on the other side, but due to schedule, it wasn't possible. But working with this team has been really, really good. So I really appreciate you have a good leaders here. Make use of them. Thank you.
My name's David Simon Mavo Kana Jomo. Na mimi na Mheshimiwa tumetoka constituency moja ya Keharo, mahali ambapo mnajua wakubwa wote wale ambao wanasimamia nchi kuanzia Matiba kuendelea mbele wametoka. Hii ni mbegu ya Kennedy Matiba. So that is the nature of that place. Na tumeshukuru sana to be with you Mheshimiwa. I got started yesterday, just quickly, when he told us that he was born in 1985, and nikamwambia 1985 I was a teacher. Na alafu nikaona vile Mungu amemrukisha mbele. Sasa mimi mwalimu na mheshimiwa hapana kutembea moja iko juu zaidi. Na mudoyo leke ile mwile, this is our Joshua. I'm not talking about Moses. Moses hakufika. Mwenye alifikisha ni nani? Joshua. This is our Joshua. Amen. Na tondu tukina constitution hii jeru na ni muraigwiri uhoro wa Magna Carta. Mnajua Magna Carta? No. Is the where a government has responsibility and accountability. Tutodekere vikari kupitia kwa Magna Carta. Responsible, they are answerable, and these are the people that are going to bring Kenya into what to underscore what you call physical policy and physical discipline.
God is good all the time. And all the times. For those who don't know me, my name is Robert Mbogwadirango. For those who know me, my name is Remittances. I fellowship at the Kenyan Catholic community and friends as the chairperson. Mheshimiwa, karibu sana here. If you don't have anywhere to worship tomorrow, you're welcome to come and worship with us. Happy to be here.
Praise God. Amen. Praise God again. Changamke tafadhali. Praise God. Amen. Praise God again. Amen. My name is Ruth. I'm the only lady in this team, but I'm glad to be part of the team. I'm also a Gen Z, so you're well represented. If you're a Gen Z, you're well represented. I see a lot of my friends. I see Anne, I see Steven, so kwa pamoja.
Asante sana. Kwa majina ni Peter Adhuo Karogo. Kwa hii mje mnaita nani? Dhuo wa nani? Haya, mheshimiwa karibu sana katika nchi yetu.
Good evening. Kwa majina naitwa Sydney Nyabiosi. These are my official names. And like Ruth has said, she's a Gen Z, and I'm also a Gen Z. Nigeria pale. Yeah, see, sisi ni Gen Z and we are representing Gen Zs. Nigeria pale pia is a Gen Z too. Amali kuna Gen Z na wamesimama nyuma yako, you must be a good leader. Yeah. Thank you. Kazi yangu ni photographer na kusaidia mambo na cameras.
Thank you. I'd like to invite Pastor Nancy, also a community leader here. Just introduce yourself. I would also like to have Mr. Samrak, who is also another community leader, just to come here and say hello. Also another very powerful source and resource, so that we can take it next. Thank you.
Hi everyone. Yeah, my name is Pastor Nancy Tilahun. I fellowship or I work in the Kingdom of God in Faith Reform Ministry here in Lower, 221 Stedman Street, Unit 29, Ndindi. And I'm also a community leader. You are the one, those who are on Passport Forum, NID. I'm the one always, there with Mr. Jega and the rest, answering questions or asking the embassy about the questions that you have the query with. And then we respond as they respond to us. So we are working together in the community, and above all, I love Christ as my personal savior. And thank you, Mheshimiwa. We met yesterday in a physically, but I always watch him in the Facebook, and I see a very brilliant person, eloquent, very knowledgeable, and we need to support and stand with him. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. You want to take that picture? Thank you. Mr. Samra. Wow.
Jambo. We are all Africans in Africa. We are all Africans in Africa. Karibuni.
Wow, we are all Africans? No, we want to make sure we capture this. This is a nice, we're going to be a little bit, let's get up and really, I know, do you have that auto-generated, or do you type it every time, or, because it's your signature, right? Type it all the time, right? Okay, So, no. Are you serious? Like, this is like for Africa. How about you guys are saying it's our problem? Yeah, so if you feel like this is his problem, you can have a seat. Oh, no, somebody. Is that his problem or our problem? Okay, how did this come to be? I'm curious. I'm really curious. It's not Q&A yet, but I love this slogan, and I hope you keep it, you grow with it, because it really resonates, but it's also sends a loud message. Really quick. We are Africans and... Yes.
But we are Africa, and Africa is our business.
But is it not also true that we have a lot of Africans, and Africa is not? It is their turbo business, right? We have a lot of people who are like that, or they have other... So I want us to say this loud. How do you like it? You like us to twang it a little bit, or you like it the Kiharu style, or a little bit? And how do you say it, Samrak?
We are Africa.
Is that the Kiharu one? How about you? All right. I'll let Mheshimiwa tell us we are Africans, and we are all going to respond and say what? Africa. So read the choir, Mheshimiwa.
We are African. We are Africa. I did both.
All right, we may have a seat, Karikoni. Thank you. Mr. Tu, I would like to please join me here. And so on behalf especially of this city, we have our leaders here, Mheshimiwa, Mr. Tu, aka Duwa Sausage. Do you have to say both Duwa Sausage, or we just call you Sausage? This is a man who has made sure that in every kitchen, right, there's always breakfast available, right? So, and yes, Mr. Tu. So karibisha Mheshimiwa.
Thank you, Amos. Mheshimiwa, viongozi mbalimbali, wakuu wa madini, wageni, masuka leo. Mjambo. I'd like to say on behalf of our community in this region, I would say New England, would like to welcome you to this region. Kwa jumla. In this region, we have a number, unfortunately, Saturday, our numbers, as we counted them the other day, we are about 28,000 going north. Ni wengi sana. When I mean New England, I mean from Connecticut. Ebu semeni Connecticut? Najua sasa, sio Connecticut, Connecticut. All the way from Connecticut all the way up to Vermont, we are about 28,000 plus. These are numbers we get from other sources. So, hawa wananchi wanakupenda. Na wamekuja hapa kusikiza maeneo ile yote unawaambia investment. Na mkumbuke, this is a town hall what? A town hall meeting. Sasa tuongea na Kizungu na Kiswahili, si ndio? Hii maneno mengine ya Kisapere wachaneni nayo. Tuongea hapo kipana na huko siku nyingine kule. Unafikiria kule tunaona kuna mbuzi kwa Hosea, tunaongea namna hiyo. Hamna namna gani? So that we can accommodate our friends and other communities in this neighborhood. I would also like to thank people who have organized this. I know one or two of them are missing, and I say thank you. It's a community thing. Do not expect politics from Mheshimiwa today. Amekuja kukaa na sisi atuambie vile tunafanya hivi na investment na nini. Maneno ya siasa, si mnajua kule mnapiga siasa, mtapiga siku nyingine. Other than that, Mheshimiwa, karibu sana, Mwenyezi Mungu akubariki. Asante sana.
Thank you, sir. I'm being requested, especially when you're up here and there's an empty, So is it okay to move Mr. Kimani and your line?
We have a lady coming on one of the chairs on our way.
There's one for the lady. Mr. Kimani knows not to use the lady's chairs. He's well, Mr. Kimani and then your team. Everyone who was there, yes.
In fact,
that's a strategy. Thank you. Yes, okay. There are also 2, 3, 4 gentlemen. Please, tafadhali, join us to the front. Yes. All right, get that song ready. Is it ready? There's a song that says Gaidiamodo. So hold your arm with it. So let's all stand up. That was the song, yes. Please go around, mingle around. Make sure you get your moto. We're here to have fun. We're here to learn. We're here to celebrate our great leader, but also listen and ask questions. So please make sure you go around and say hi to someone, right?
If you can step ahead into the chair ahead of you, this is the reason for the song. As we liven up, you know, sometimes it's good to be alive and to feel alive and to feel good. Come on, come on, come on, kuna kitu mbele, songa tu. Come on, let's wear that. This is in Kenya. We are one, right? We love each other, right? I love that. Hallelujah. That was a little bit slow for me. Thank you, Jesus. We are marching in the light of God. 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 Yeah, we are marching. Oh, we are marching. We are marching in the light of God. I do want to take time. Let me to pass the mic back. I can see their faces. I know how we feel. We want to hear this, right? And there's a business of the day, right? But utukufu kwa nani? Kwa Mungu. Sifa na utukufu kwa nani? Kwa Mungu, in season and out of season. There is a God in heaven. Amen? Just turn to your neighbor. Help me to tell them there is a God in heaven. And He hears our prayers. And He answers our prayers. And tell them, do not stop praying for your nation. Si tumeambiwa Africa is ours and it's our business. So turn to them, tell them, do not stop to pray for what? For our nation. That's the business. That's the reason we are here. And we are marching forward. God bless you.
Amen.
Wow, let's appreciate Mercy as we take our seats. Number one, I would really like to appreciate the people who showed up here like 2 hours ago. There are people who were here like 5 hours ago. That's Mheshimiwa, I want you to hear that. Yeah, I know Mheshimiwa was tied up in another event somewhere, so I really wanted to say thank you. I appreciate the team that came here to set up this place, and we also want to appreciate Well of Worship, the church that owns this building, and also that allowed us to be here for this event. So let's appreciate them, and thank you. under the leadership of Pastor Alice, is that correct? And Francis, if you're here, and the team and the leadership of the church, we thank you. Again, thank you for people who came in a little bit earlier, helped us with setting up and everything. We really appreciate you. We have a very simple and a quick program for tonight. We want to give time to Mheshimiwa to talk to us, and then we're going to open it for you guys, or for us, to have a conversation through Q&A. It's plain and simple. And I think that's why we're here. This Q&A is not scripted. He's a very open-minded leader. But for some of us who had the benefit of sitting with him, or sitting actually, like a fire chat, they're having like very close conversation. Mheshimiwa, God has blessed you. I don't want to call it, I don't know what to call it. What would you say? That was knowledge. That was wisdom. That was a level of brilliance that I've never seen, never heard before. And something that really made me change my mind. And we're hoping that by the time you leave, this is my personal prayer, that you will definitely have a whole different perspective of our country. And if not maybe different, you'll leave this place even more hopeful about the future of our country, Kenya. That was my takeaway from our last night conversation. That is always my takeaway when I watch and I listen. We've had so many politicians that really know to throw matope at each other. And sometimes we accept it and we say it's politics. But we were able to listen to a whole type of different visionary, leadership, knowledge, and I am hoping that you will get the same. And after we left, a number of people also called me and they're like, next time I'm ready to pay, to show up and listen and get that knowledge. People who are, had the time or people who have watched him very closely, we all understand what we are saying. But my question to you is, how many people are from Murang'a here? So those have been the missing votes. They registered and then they headed to JKI and then, so these are there. So please make sure we vote even when we're here. I think that is something we continue to advocate for and make sure that we vote. But more importantly, how many people have ever visited Murang'a? Come on. You've been everywhere. How many never been to Keno? Okay. And how many people think that they know Mheshimiwa? Online? It's going to be into full disclosure, right? Like I know you, like in Mtandao, Okay. But how many people really know who Mheshimiwa is? Thank you. You can't wait, right? So I'm going to throw a little trivia. And it's okay to add another one, right? And I know, John, well, you kind of stole my line. Everybody want to know his age. How old is this guy? Where is he getting all this wisdom? Like, how did they take you to? I'm so happy that you shared about your, a little bit about your resume, right? And the degrees and all that kind of good stuff. But it is so we all know that he was born in 1985. And Jomo told us last night, and he repeated, in 1985, just to put things into perspective, Jomo was high school. I mean, imagine that. And Jomo, you really look good for that, man. When they hired teachers, were you of age? I'm just kidding. It's okay. Maybe Jomo was hired when he was. Okay, that's perfectly fine. But Honorable Ndindi Nyoro is a Kenyan politician. So far we know that, right? All right. I also would like to tell you that he's an economist. When you hear economist, what comes to mind? When you hear and we learned yesterday, the money does not know. It does not know age, does not know color, does not know. Remember, Africa is still our business, right? So, okay, all right, that. He's also a serious entrepreneur. And I didn't know that until yesterday. And on my way, I was just doing the numbers. I'm like, oh my goodness. So he's a serious entrepreneur. This is entrepreneur. And a lot of knowledge that he shared with us and he'll be sharing with you is also part of that journey. He's sharing the knowledge. Born on December 12th. Oh my goodness. You share birthday with a lot of people in here. Yes. And then he serves as a member of parliament for what constituency? Keharo, okay. First elected in 20... Hold on, don't say anything, Mr. Mambo. Huh? You can have your ChatGPT on it, then you answer the question. Yeah. I knew it. The reason I say, okay, haha, better, you know, there was a reason. Flavor. And then re-elected in... Are you still a member of UDA? Okay. So he was actually, yes, under the flagship of UDA and of course the Kenya Kwanza, we all know that. He holds a bachelor degree in economics from where? Nairobi. From Nairobi? Yeah. Who said Nairobi? You can't see them all. Like, Kimani, what is ChatGPT telling you? So how many people, if you are from Murang'a and you say Nairobi, raise your hand. So Nairobi, okay. Okay. Who? He went to Nairobi? Don't let me down. Don't. Huh? So he's actually a KU guy. How many people have some history of family members or friends who went to KU? So here is your alumni right there. So your other alumni sitting right next to you. That is awesome. And he has advanced training in economics and public policy, right? I love this line. He rose from a humble background through business and entrepreneurship before joining politics. And we asked him a question last night. How did you survive through college? How did you survive? So this is a guy who shares his story, but more importantly, and all of this will help you to see who he is and where he is taking us and his vision and his mission, right? So in parliament, he served as the chairperson of what? He served, like, past, right? Of what? I think ChatGPT here is correct. So you can trust this AI 100% here. So yes, he served as the chairperson of Budget and Appropriation Committee. His work focuses on economic policy, education support programs, and youth initiative. And as the diaspora in Draycott or in New England and in the Boston area, we are very, very, very honored to have you tonight. We'd like to say thank you, Karibu Boston, and please, let's put our hands together as we welcome this movement.
Thank you very much, Amos. Vile nilikwambia jana, na hiyo mdomo wewe huwezi lala jana. Naona hapa US unapata dola mingi kwa hiyo kazi. Thank you very much, Amos. The organizers of this event, of course led by our host, Mr. Duo, Bishop Wayaki, Bwana Eutychus, and all the others, including Pastor Nancy, and my boss from Kiharu, kwa sababu yeye ni bota wa Kiharu, na wakaaji wote wa Rowo na the entire place. Good evening. Good evening. Kenya oye. Oye. Muriega. Uyamuri. That is from Kisii and all the others. Otherwise, I'm very, very grateful to be here this evening. Lakini kabla niseme mawili matatu, nimeona kuna marafiki wangu wa Nairobi wako hapa na wanatumikia pia sisi kule Nairobi. Nikeuliza Zipora, please come with your friends so that people know who you are. Alitumia message akaniambia she'll be here and she came from very far. So please kujeni. You have to waone bado tuko area. Zipora. Diaspora is a CEO in the Nairobi County na atasema hiyo ingine. So karibu sana.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Zipora Mwangi. I'm a chief officer in Nairobi County. Chief officer is an equivalent of a PS. I serve under the leadership of His Excellency, Governor Sakaja. And Mheshimiwa here is my MP back at home. I'm from Murang'a Kiharu, and he is also my mentor in the space of my career. I'm delighted to be here. I'm visiting. I am being hosted by my friends here. We are going to have an opportunity for them to hear from them. So thank you very much.
God is good and all the time. My name is Anne Wambogo. I was working with the Ministry of Social and Labor, but I came this side, and I'm glad to be here.
My name is Ricarda Mudoni Maina. I live here. I'm a nurse in one of the hospitals around, and I'm glad to be here tonight.
God is good. All the time. God is good. My name is Stephen Chege. I'm here because Zip is my classmate back in high school, and then she happened to be visiting her friend Anne, and I say, since Mheshimiwa is here, we have to go and be in that event. And then I also got to meet Mudoni at the same time. So I'm glad to be here, Mheshimiwa. Nice to meet you. And I have other friends, Ruth, the back, and your teacher here is a good friend of mine. Pastor Yaki is from my village, 1 kilometer from my place. And also nice to meet a new friend here, and glad to be in this event.
Asanteni sana, tuwapigie makofi tafadhali. First of all, I want to apologize for being late. I had an event with Indians from New England. So, there are some words I may not pronounce as you guys, so you'll forgive me. So, because one of my classmates is an MP in India, and they had a very big event which they invited me. It was very, very good. I am glad we went. So that's why I'm late. So poleni sana, because we have to start from 5:30. But we were in touch with Amos, and he kept telling us those who are on the way, kwanza wafike. So I am glad that we are now full house. I'm sure there are people we have only met on Facebook and YouTube. My name is Ndindi Nyoro, MP for Kiharu constituency, which is in Murang'a. Murang'a town is one of the wards in Kiharu constituency. So it's a very large constituency, very large. Those who know Murang'a, Kagema and Mathioya combined are less than Kiharu in all ways. Landmass, number of schools, number of voters, and the population. Everything, they are less than Kiharu combined. And the reason I'm saying that, as much as you are here, I know we have very many family members back at home. And that's why we gather here as Kenyans. Otherwise, you'd not. And what we do is work that you've given us, either directly or through the relatives in Nairobi. And I am glad to report to those who are here from our place that Kiharu, hata ikiwa constituency very large, we have 112 public primary schools. Na hizo shule ni zile mulienda tu kawaida. And out of all our public schools in Kiharu, courtesy of CDF ya Kiharu, all our primary schools and all the classes in those primary schools, they are all tiled, all of them. And I don't say tile to just represent tile. It means by the time you are putting the tiles, you have done much more than the tiling. Rehabilitation, building new infrastructure, and making sure that the classroom deserves actually tiling in the first place. We have another program we launched this year. It has been running from 2023, but we launched it afresh last year. Actually early this year, targeting day secondary schools and the runners there. We have many runners, around 12,000. We have around 65 day secondary schools, and learners in Kiharu, courtesy again of CDF, and a program we call Kiharu Masomo Bora. Kwa pesa ya Kenya, they pay only 500 shillings per term in a secondary school. And kwa sababu naona wengi tumezoea githeri huko nyumbani. They eat githeri and rice. Yes, because it's good that we keep on reminding them where they come from. But the last Friday of the month, across all our day secondary schools, they actually eat chapati over lunch. And I don't mean the chapati here machine. This one is real. They have been eating. I know Kenya has many kind of chapatis. So I mean real chapati which has been in, ni kitu imekuwa. I'm not saying it will be. I'm saying what has been happening. So I am very, very enthusiastic and passionate about education, basically because the reason most of us are here is because we went to a classroom and we did something good in that classroom. That's why we are in various areas that we are serving. And it will be a tragedy if leaders don't do their best to give exactly that and even more to the many who deserve that. So that's why I am very, very forthright in pushing that agenda, and I am glad that it has been working. As Amos put it, I was telling them yesterday, I visited a school recently in a place called Loco 20. Actually, two of them. One called Kapero. It's a fairly new school we started from scratch. And in that school, in grade 10, squeezing from 1 wanaitwa grade 10, kule nyumbani. They had around 35 in one classroom, and 12 were from outside Muranga. Not even Kiharu, outside of Muranga. Because they come to study in their relatives, they stay with their relatives and access education in Kiharu. Kwa sababu iko cheap, na it's affordable. I'm saying 500. I'm talking about $4 per term. And they eat in school. And we buy for them revision books. For example, last financial year, we bought revision books of 10 million shillings. And we keep doing that. And of course, all the other things that deserve to be done by us as leaders. So that's a brief introduction in terms of work. But I have to say that I came here in the US. I've been here for 2 weeks because I'm attending an executive course at Harvard Kennedy School. It's usually known as John F. Kennedy School of Government. And it is an addition to something that I realized that we need to do as leaders. When I became chairman of budget in Kenya, I realized that many times we may take for granted the decisions that we make as leaders. The decision a leader makes affect millions of people. Just one decision can affect even the life expectancy of the people you are leading. You can imagine that. So we used to meet in meetings, National Treasury, high-ranking people in government, and I realized there was a lot of deficiency when it came to data-driven decision-making, objective decision-making. Many decisions that are made by us as leaders and politicians, they seem to lean more on political consideration and whims more than fundamentals. And I realized there was a gap that we must fill as leaders. And immediately from 2023, I decided, yet I had a degree in economics, but I decided to do more. So I went to the University of Nairobi and I enrolled for a master's degree, which I have finished, which is Master's in Arts Economics. At the same time, I went to KU and registered around the same time, in a space of not too long, and registered a Master's of Economics in Policy and Management, which I also finished. and I was attending classes. You know, Kenya saa zingine wanasiasa mpaka useme mpaka classmates. You know them. So I made it a responsibility that I have to go back and distinguish what I thought I know with what is actual. And I am glad that that helped. And also, early this year, there is a course I had started in 2015 and 2025 at the London School of Economics, which I also finished this year. And now what I'm doing here in Harvard is in the same line. I'm actually taking an executive certificate in economic development. Even the one for LSE, London School of Economics, was also about economics. So the degree is economics, master's one is economics, and the other one is economics and public policy, and Harvard is also economics. Because whatever we may say and do, the bottom line of a Kenyan and the bottom line of every citizen of the world is about what they can afford. It is about the kind of life they can live. And after all is said and done, a lot of that is summarized through the pocket. How much is there? Pocket is presenting even the bank or cards. So we need, as all of us as leaders, to know all the time that the decision you make, even as a leader of our community here in the US, affects so many people there today and tomorrow. And I am glad that with the knowledge that we are gaining, with the jurisdiction of the responsibility that we already have, that is already helping in terms of decision making. Now, we are here as Kenyans. And just ask yourself, ukiwa hapa US, uko Kenya, job. And how many people are in Kenya from the US to reciprocate your position that you left it back at home? There are so many people from Cambodia here. How many people from the US are in Cambodia to look for opportunities? Why is that? Why are we all here? Is it that when you were born, of course when we were born, all of us wanted to come to the US. All of us. But why that? It's because we thought there was scarcity where we are. We thought probably we can drive more, do more, be better when we are here. Because we thought, and it always is the land of opportunity. But what distinguishes US, UK, South Korea, Singapore, China in the current age, and India is headed there. What distinguishes our countries and these countries that I've mentioned? Can you sometimes try to think? I mean, take your village and the villages you've seen here. Remove tarmac, remove anything done by a human being. Tarmac, just leave everything else that is nature-based. And then you try to imagine, what is this difference between Kenya and South Korea and the US and the rest? Because I want us, yesterday I was in a meeting with Kenyans and they were telling me, Mheshimiwa, as you address us, know that you are very angry. That's what they told me. About the many things you already know in your hearts. But I don't want to go there fast so that we don't, we enjoy the essence of this meeting. I have a privilege to have interacted with many nationalities in this course and the previous ones. And one thing is very, very clear. Actually, look at it this way. Kenya is many times geographically, in terms of land mass, than South Korea. South Korea is smaller than Kenya. South Korea has around 50 million people. Kenya has the same range. So we are demographically the same people. But how has history treated us, both of us? So, at independence, we were the same. A South Korean and a Kenyan walking in the streets, a South Korean would give way to a Kenyan because a Kenyan was more endowed than him. I mean, they had more GDP per capita than a Zambian, than a Kenyan, than a Tanzanian. I mean, those latter ones I have mentioned had better GDP per capita than South Koreans. And the reason why I'm putting this, I know we'll talk about investments, but we have to create context. We are in 90s. We are not talking about, you know, vitu tulikuwa tunasema hapo, tunasoma vitu za Vasco da Gama. I'm not talking about that. We are talking about miaka ya saa hii, si huko nyuma sana. So what is this that South Korea discovered that Kenya did not? That in 1960, we were the same. With the Chinese, with the South Korean, an Indian was even poorer than a Kenyan. It's not that they discovered oil. They never discovered gold that Kenya did not discover. We have to admit, all of us as citizens of Africa, that yes, the leadership so far in Africa has done well to unite us. Our forefathers, we respect them, they did very well. But we have to admit, after that, the leadership in Africa has failed the people of Africa, and especially Kenya. Because there is no other difference that a South Korean was at the same level with a Tanzanian, but now a South Korean is 30 times richer than a Tanzanian. That a South Korea is now richer 20 times more than me. That should not have passed without us investigating the lessons we should learn. South Korea had a president who was actually a dictator. Yani kichwa ngumu, alikuwa general wa jeshi. Now, that man called General Park, the daughter actually later became the president of South Korea later. During President Uhuru's time, the daughter of General Park was the president of South Korea. But that's not the point. He decided to build internal capacity within South Korea. And he came up with something as a term called chaebols. Chaebols, he decided he's going to create private companies within South Korea which will dominate the world. A few. And then these few would create what would be called supply chains. The SME would become suppliers of these companies. So the economy would be very hierarchical. Few companies at the top, few Safaricoms. Safaricoms dealing with different sectors. A Safaricom, a telco, another Safaricom dealing with the manufacturing of something, and another one, and another one. And those chaebols had one mission, that they had to make products that would compete globally so that South Korea would dominate also in the export in the world. And he established a small committee, like a small cabinet. Their work was one, tracking progress about what these companies are doing. And any support they would need, the government would give them. Any support. So they created this now kind of a model. It's actually started in economic classes called an export growth-led economy. Their mission was one, how much are we selling outside? Why? Because there's no money you make by trading with yourself. An economy is like a household. If you have a household of 10 acres, and you are only trading the cow, what it is eating, you are trading that with the milk you are selling, and then the mangoes you sell, and then you buy uga. That kind of trade where it is just within the confines, it never makes you wealthy. So even in the macro sense, they realized for South Korea to grow, we must conquer the world economically and in commerce and in production. Now, What I'm describing are things you already know. The phones you use called Samsung. That company is a creation of General Park because he supported it. But this is the thing I want you to listen. He didn't have one share in Samsung. And he never requested the people from Samsung to give them shares so that he supports them. He let entrepreneurship to drive. The company called Hyundai. Hyundai was a typhoon. Another one called HK. South Korea even became dominant in shipbuilding. Government support. And then what happened? Samsung started off as a dried fish company. They were selling fish. After selling fish, the economy was modeled for dynamism. You shed off whatever you are doing and upgrade to a higher productivity product. So from selling those kind of, at some point it was selling bicycles. After bicycles, there were things like plywood. And I'm talking about Samsung and all these type balls. Then after they make money, when you make profit out of your business, in the macro sense of things, the profit you make is capital for something more. I know we treat it differently ourselves here in this hall. We know the profit we make is the money to build the next home and to buy the next set of suits and the next car. But economically, you should make so much that those are too minute. So the money you make out of what you are doing becomes capital for what you want to do next. So that's how the economy grew. You sell plywood, they are called labor-intensive industries. Once you do labor-intensive and everyone has a job, so unemployment is no longer the problem. Now something called productivity becomes the problem. These salaries are too small. We are South Korea, we can no longer be importing clothes. Those industries became non-existent again. Zinakuja zinaenda because people upgrade to higher technologies. That's the same way in the US. You can't fight any company manufacturing garments and apparels because they can't afford your labor. So they would rather do that somewhere else. They bring it here in the US to just give it a label. Including phones, Apple phones. All the work is done in China and nowadays now in Taiwan, India, and Vietnam. The reason inherently is because they can't afford labor of $13 an hour at even $30 an hour to make a phone. It will be uncompetitive to do that in the US. So the story was still about South Korea. Upgrading, upgrading, upgrading. So people become richer. The next generation becomes richer than the previous one. In Kenya, we got stuck. In Africa, we got stuck. And one thing that is making our economy to get stuck in the mud, stuck in a swamp, is a form of corruption called patronage. Where the people who get the highest seats, all of a sudden they become the best entrepreneurs. That's simply because you are elected in a seat. All of a sudden, you have now become the best businessman, and all your companies are now the best performing all of a sudden. So what that does is to choke entrepreneurship. When you choke entrepreneurship, you are choking one of the most important elements and factors of production. For people to do the business Akina Elon Musk are doing here, the Elon Musk brain is more important than all the other inputs in Tesla. If you remove Elon Musk from Tesla, there is no Tesla. If you remove Bill Gates from Microsoft, there is no Microsoft. The entrepreneurial might of him was the most consequential factor of production. So when in Africa we choke the best and the most consequential factor of production, then you are left only with land and labor to deal with. Those can't make a country rich. Those can only be used by the brain to make the country rich. So I'm here to tell you that there is hope.
Amen.
I know I have painted a picture that is not very rosy, but I've painted it to tell you, if it's about knowledge, if it's about accumulation of technology, if it's about leadership, the beauty is that it is transient all the time. So that if we experience bad leadership, it never lasts for too long. So I'm here to tell you, in Kenya and in Africa, I am certain and convinced the dawn is almost. And I'm looking forward to a situation where we stop giving you these kind of speeches. When we come here, you call us to give speeches. No, our speech must be in output. So that other people see what we are doing. Tunamita hapa, tunakula nyama, mi naenda Nairobi, na nyinyi mnaendelea na kazi. So that this rhetoric all the time of always telling Kenyans tunaenda hivi, we want to do this. I think now actions must start to speak louder than words. No one in this hall knows any speech that was given by Lee Kuan Yew, who was the president of South Korea. You don't even care what he said. But you know South Korea is rich. And you respect South Korea and their leadership. Sorry, that was Singapore. No one here even, maybe it's the first time you are hearing about General Park of South Korea. But you know South Korea is a dominant economy. That is the kind of trajectory that we must cultivate. And I can assure you, as your representatives back at home, will drive that agenda until Kenya gets transformed. We can all make all the money we want, but we can make all the money when the economy is serving everyone. Maybe ujiuliza hivi. Yes, I also do a lot of business because I'm an investor, entrepreneur. But you cannot be in a swamp at unacheka you operate your home inside a swamp and then you say you are doing well. So you want to be an oasis. Everything around you is a desert, only you is driving. That we want to have a hippo in a desert. A hippo cannot live in a desert. So there is no way you can do too well as a leader while every other person around you is doing so badly. Even you, it will catch up with you. Because the hippo will soon realize it is in a desert. Now, second thing. I challenged my brothers and sisters and the clergy yesterday. And I want to challenge all of us here. And I should start by thanking you profusely for sending money back home. It's called send wave or what? Yeah? Send wave. Nasikia send wave munatuma pesa mpaka ina crash. I also want to thank the Kenyans in the UK. Because you here and the UK combined make up close to 60% of the Kenyan remittances. But I don't want you to clap. Don't clap yet. Now, no, don't bother. Now, you said money back home. What do you send it for? Huh? When you said money back home, you are sending to who first? Let's start with the who. Family. So family is who? Mother? Father? To pay your sister's child school fees? Yes. Medication. Sherehe. Once at Christmas, you make it happen. You make it happen. Now, that's remittance. Remittances. And you've said it very well. In fact, you've said to your family, who is every part of the family, or a friend, a former classmate, person in need. So you send that money back home for what? for people to consume, to solve social problems. So when you said remittance, can you agree with me? I may be wrong, so don't agree if I'm wrong. I have found here in the US, when I go to a restaurant, tipping is an absolute must. And you might tip in the receipt and tip real money also. Can you agree or disagree with me that the money you send back home are tips? Don't look at me like that. I'm not saying you're doing anything wrong. I want us to arrive to this point together. So when you send somebody money, are you sending them real money or change? No, the money, you know, real money. When I have 1,000 shillings and I give you 50 bob, am I giving you money or change? Do you send money or change? Both. Depends. Very good. We are arriving somewhere. When you send real money, what are you sending it for? Real money. Now, not what do you usually send it for? To invest. Very good. We are now together. Because the reason why I came here in this hall, we are almost there. I came to tell you that the money you send back home, because I have interacted with many of you when I've been here, you guys are doing very well comparative to home. And you know that. Expenses may be high, but you touch money. I mean, here, $50 is not money. But back home, that is school fees in Kiharu for the entire 4 years in a basic college. For 4 years. But $50 is what you take over lunch or dinner. And you tip somebody money for 2 terms back at home. So, what is remittance? Because that is one of the things that, and we were addressing the same in the Indian caucus, where we addressed earlier. Because India also has a lot of remittances from here and the UK. But remittance is money you only send. Forget about the real money. Majority of the remittance that we send back home is tips, is the money we can afford to give, money we can afford to lose, and money we feel no pain giving. You can imagine if the money you send back home is a social remittance, because most of what you send is a social transfer. When you send our parents' money from the US, you send $100 per some period of time. That is equivalent to Inua Jamii ile ya Kenya, ile pesa ya wazee. It's the same. It's a social transfer. Social transfer does what? It is for consuming. So remittance is a consumer-driven social transfer. Now, let me now ask you. You guys are very exposed. Tell me one country in the entire world and over history that grew on the basis of remittances. And guys, I never came here as a person who knows a lot. So I'm asking you questions so that you also inform me. Tell me one country in the world that we read this country grew so well because their people went to this country, they took money back home through remittances, and this company grew, is now a developed country. Tell me one. Which one? This one? US. Let's take all the answers. US. Another one? Now, my brother, US is the exact opposite. US is the other polar, is the other direct opposite. US has grown to be US. Let me just use tech first. The technology in the US, the one we know called Silicon Valley and all the other areas around there.
they grew on the opposite of what we are doing now. Because they grew using immigrants. Here in the US, they had a policy on STEM in the 1960s. They took all the brains of the world, of the best in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. They gave them scholarships. Majority of them studied, they never went back home. That's why you see, majority of the tech companies in the US, they are either run or started by immigrants. So you come here and develop US because they are giving you the right conditions. You must have been sending money through a company called PayPal. PayPal was started by Elon Musk, Lev Chin, Peter Thiel. All those, the richest person in the US, one of the founders of PayPal, Elon Musk, is a South African and Canadian. The father is South African, the mother is Canadian. But when we report in Forbes, the number one richest person in the world comes from where? From America. You can take many more companies. You realize the US leveraged on the brain of the world, especially to grow the tech. But again, they didn't just bring the brain. They give the brain the right condition. They gave the brain the right incubation. In the US currently, who is the CEO of Microsoft? Later on you can check. That's an Indian. It's an Indian. Go and check Meta. Sorry, not Meta, but Alphabet. The CEO of Alphabet is Indian. Not an Indian born in the US. An Indian who was studying in Bombay. They are now here as CEO of the largest companies in the world. So what am I trying to tell you about this issue? I am here to tell you that it's possible we convert the remittances we send back home. We have the right thinking around it. We rethink it again. And instead of remittances, we now start sending FDI back home. We now start sending, what is FDI? Foreign direct investment back home. But I know what starts in the way. Money you send back home, socio, is money you can afford. So it's a small fraction of the money you have. Why is it that you don't send the bigger part? It's because you don't trust the systems in Kenya or the people you are sending the money to. Is that the reason? Yes. So we keep saying, oh, Kenya, we want to attract FDI. All the companies I mentioned, they grew through FDI. FDI has also helped America, helped South Korea, Singapore, and all the others. That's why you find some of even China, some of the companies in China, including BYD. BYD is a competitor of Tesla. But up to last year, who was the largest, one of the largest investors in BYD? It was Berkshire Hathaway. Berkshire Hathaway is American. So American money built a Chinese EV company. That is an FDI. It's not a remittance. And I am saying this because you people in this hall, you have capacity. I know that. Either individually or together. To stop now being socio-transferers of remittances, but to become active participants in foreign direct investments back at home. And this is the reason. The money you send to your parent, to your relative, you don't send it for you to enjoy. So you have no motivation to send. So you're actually acting the same way an economic agent would act. When I'm giving you money, which does not help me in any way, you only give because you have to give. You have been in those situations. You don't give tips because you really love to give tips. You give it because you have been put in a corner, you just have to give it. So even most of the remittances you send back home, you send it so that people don't see that you are a bad person. You send it because you have sisters, know you are in the US, so you should support your parents. Some of it, especially the one you send to our cousins, You said it just because you don't want them to know you became bad when you came to the US. So, FDI is based on that. So there is no motivation, remittance is based on that. There's no motivation for you to do too much. But FDI, the one I'm talking about, is you sending money back home to work for you, for money to grow to become bigger money, so that you become richer. So that whether you end up coming back to Kenya or staying here, the money in Kenya that money has worked for you, it has grown. Is it making sense? So as I go to the finish, because I want us to engage in questions. Wengi mnasema sasa amekuja ameongea history yote, haongei mambo ya shares ama investments. FDI. And I'll be brief in that. One of the things I enjoy doing is studying markets. Because money is made in markets. Money, all the money is made in the markets. But I specifically handle very few markets. Only markets that are relevant to us here. In a show of hands, how many people have bought plots from this hall? Market home. How many have got more than 3 plots back at home? So even the ones who are not lifting up their hands, their faces are already betraying them. Now let me ask you, anyone who bought a plot in the year 2020 up to date? Anyone? 2020 to date? 2020 to date. Hata kama umelipa tu deposit. Please rise up. Wacha nione. How many have bought a plot from 2020 and they have already sold and made money? Who is trying to sell a plot and you can't find a buyer? Okay, then why do you buy them? It's an investment. Yes. Second, speculation. Third, culture. By the way, all those things play a role. Because our parents don't believe that we made it until we have some pieces of land. You can't convince your father you made it until you have titles. So that's culture. SGR. It was passing through your place, then you bought. Okay. Competition. Man of God came. Okay. And maybe they did it with the right purpose. I mean, their motive was right. Now, which other areas do you put your money? Airbnb. That is real estate. We can call it real estate. And I want us to deal with home. So you build some places in Ruaka, you are doing it as Airbnb. Others are rentals. Yani flats. Treasury boards and bills. Iko kidogo. Fixing money in the bank. They are there. Shares. They're there. Very good. So you made my work easier. Because of all those things, I want us to highlight a few things. And please, feel free to raise up your hand and say, no, correct there. I think my experience is different. We don't come to this kind of a session to do a lecture. Please to interact. I'm also learning, is it? Money market funds. That is the MMFs. Or mutual funds. You are putting money together to do something, is it? Now, my opinion is this, and it's a simple one. Investments should make you wealthy and rich. I mean, that's why there is investment. That's why there are markets. Forget about all the other things about liquidity. The real essence, you go into a market, is to become wealthy. There is no person in the world, no one in the Forbes list, who is not in the market. And here market, I mean stock market. The reason why we say Elon Musk is worth the $800 billion, maybe in his own heart or bank account, maybe he has never ever seen $5 billion in his bank account. So what gets reported by Forbes is net worth. Net worth is calculated by the market. So who said Tesla is worth the much it is? Have you ever thought, why is Tesla worth the much it is now? Who said so? Why is Tesla valued more than GM, Ford, and Toyota combined? Why? And all these other ones produce much more cars than Tesla.
It's the future.
I mean, I want you, and I don't want to make this complex. Why is a company like Airbnb worth more than Marriott? Why is that? Number of shares, which other one? Value of shares. So now this is the point. Let's first eliminate so that tukuje tumalizie hapa hii point. Muweke hiyo point hapo kwa akili tutairudia. My opinion, when you are investing, and especially you who are here, I can say they are our parents, but majority are our brothers and sisters. Don't invest in anything that can't change your life. That's if you're investing 10 million shillings to gain 1 million, you already had 10 million. So you already knew how to make 10 million. And I'm telling you, I'll make it 11 million at the end of the year, after 12 months. To be honest, I don't do that. I'd rather just keep my money. If you already knew how to make 10 million, and you've made it, is on the table, what will 1 million do to you? What difference is there? If you already had 1 million, and I'm here promising you 100,000 after 1 year, in my opinion, I don't think that is investment. Because again, when you account for inflation, your 1 million after 1 year will still not be 1 million. So even the 100,000 you are gaining as interest is still less because majority of it has been swallowed by inflation. So anything I put up money that cannot grow is never my cup of tea. And I'm using the me language because we are sharing an experience. You can't make 1 million shillings by doing whatever you are doing, and you think that the person giving you 10% a year is the one who will make you rich. You are already rich anyway. A person worth $1 million and one worth 1.1, they are the same. Even the one worth 1.2, they are all if you came here in the room, tuambiwe watu wa milioni wanakaa pale, watu wa milioni 10 wanakaa pale, wa 1.1 si atakaa tuko wa 1 million. So it's the same. So investing then, land used to be very good a few years back. All of us made money in land. But our cities were inelastic. Our cities were not expanding. Either because our mind was stuck, that Moraka town in a mpaka pale. Until some other people came up, wakasema, no, we can extend it. They bought some 10 acres of land in the outskirts, divided it. They started giving more supply in Moranga town. Another went to Kakamega. Kakamega was confined as where we know it. Other people came and expanded it by buying land, subdividing. So the supply of land balanced up with the demand. That's why the prices of land in Kenya will remain stagnant for as long as we can foresee. Because the status keeps on expanding as much as the infrastructure is expanding. The reason why Pagani was up to Nairobi back then, at kama we ukai Pagani, ukai Nairobi, was because maybe there was no road to go now, there was no road to go to Maroroi. So ukiambia mtu unakaa Maroroi, wanakuuliza, where is that?
But now it's like in the town center because the roads are there. The reason why what I'm familiar with, Muranga Town was just Muranga Town. There is a neighboring place called Local 20 in Muranga Town. There was no road, no water. Now there are tarmac roads everywhere and there is water. So a person leaving a place called Kaperwa going to Muranga Town can take 5 minutes. So why do you need to buy a plot of land 5 times more in Muranga Town when you can buy in Kaperwa much cheaper? So the cities expand. When the cities expand, supply becomes more. When supply becomes more, the gap between demand and supply shortens. When it shortens, prices stabilize. They stop what is called overheating. That's why you are no longer making money in real estate. And you're not likely to make money soon. You're not likely if that is to persist. So let's first deal with that real estate issue there. The other real estate we do is building flats. Kujenga nyumba ya kukodesha. Kodesha. A flat of 50 million because you guys are built to those kind of things. How long do you return your 50 million after how long? 12, 15, kuna mtu anasema 20. That's when you return your money. Now the 50 million. But you're talking about the 50 million of 12 years ago. Is it still 50 million now? No. So that's the math that you have to do. And I'm not saying you don't build. I'm just saying, let's not just do the usual things we do. Fixing money in the bank and buying treasury reports and bills is one and the same thing. One, you are lending to government through bonds and bills. That's lending to government. But fixing money in the bank is also lending to the bank. That's why they give you interest. You are lending to them so that they also lend your money to somebody else and make a markup. They pay you back and they take a margin. And the more the reason I was telling the other team yesterday, deposit in the bank. When you read the financial statements of a bank, deposits are listed as liabilities, but loans are listed as assets. Because it's a liability when you deposit money into a bank. You have lent them money. Mwakopesha. But they give you a static return. 10% or whatever. So let's take 10 million shillings you fix. Fixing and board is the same. So when I say fix, even board is fixing. So they pay you after every 6 months. But a fixed rate. But that fixed rate, wamefanyia hesabu. It's not that they are taking your money to hide it under the carpet. No. There is already somebody who wants it. So they are just a broker. To take your money, pay you something, and lend to this other one. They pay more, they take a markup, they return your money. But when you fixed money 10 years, after 10 years you still get your money the way you gave it to the bank. The only thing they give you is interest after every 6 months. That is for T-bills and for banks after a year. So the money you receive as interest rate is the only thing that you actually receive from your money. Because after 10 years, they actually give you back your money. You can actually choose to buy a new boat with the same money. But you still get it 10 years, you still get your money. I want you at your free time to check. When you last fixed your money for 10-year bond, how much was the worth of Mark Zuckerberg, for example? I want you to check that in your free time. So that if you did what he did, where would you be? And what he did is just to hold on to his Meta shares. And a Zuckerberg, I mean anyone who bought a Facebook share then, when you are fixing your money. Even when you are building your flat, compare between when you built your flat, because you fixed your money. Flat is fixing your money for the next 12 years. The rent you'll be getting is interest rate in goods. So I want you to check in your free time. Today when you have 10 million, you build a flat. And a person who did exactly that 10 years ago, and then you are in the same category. On this other side, take Warren Buffett 10 years ago, take Elon Musk 10 years ago,
take anyone 10 years ago who is in the market of equities and compare what they became after 10 years and what you became after 10 years. After 10 years, you get back your money the same way you gave to the bank. But check their net worth of the same 10 after 10 years. So that is the reason I come to my last point. And that is the challenge I came here to this hall. I think there are many opportunities in the equities and shares. It's the same thing. Equity shares, they are all the same thing. I mean, it is just terminologies. When you buy shares, what are you buying? You are buying a company. But companies evolve, so they have a life. Company actually wears a suit. They can rebrand. So company changes products. They can even change an accent. A company can change an accent. Because you can change a brand. You can change even your products. It has life, in other words. Companies travel. But fixing money doesn't travel. Companies travel. Meta is traveling. I'm using it in Kenya, yet you are the holder of the share here in the US. So I'm paying for an ad in Kenya to benefit you as a shareholder here. So it has traveled, come to Kenya to look for money for you as a shareholder. So when you buy a right share, you actually buy a hunting dog. You unleash it, it comes back in the evening with something for you to eat. Because there is life. Now, wengine mnajiuliza, hii share mnasema hii share, si tulinunua uchumi ikaporomoka na hii ingine na sijui gani. That is actually why we need a conversation. Don't buy shares because somebody was buying. The fact that you are here in the US means umepitia mambo. Imagine coming from the village, ukapata njia ya Moi Avenue, ya Mombasa Road, ukaingia JKIA, ukakuja huku, ukajua kuna roho. You are not a simple person. Yani umepita barriers to be here. But we now go back to our comfort zone when it comes to thinking about our hard-earned money. You came all the way to Lowo, you made money, but the way you invest your money, oh, somebody came to our chama and told us, this is now the hot cake. So that's the basis of your investing. My brother called me and told me there is an app of scooters. So we bought all of us, I don't know, shares or what. Then within 3 months, you try to go to the app. It is telling you, oh, Federal Reserve is doing something around, we'll get back to you. Your money evaporates. But the only thing, your basis of decision making was, my cousin introduced me to it. So you make $1 million by going to work. Here you can make $1 million in 2 months. But by going to work 2 months, after making that 1 million, for going to work even overtime. But you can't take a day to think about where you take your 1 million. Don't blame anyone, just blame yourself. And I want to repeat that. You've come here, you've worked for 1 year. In your bank account there is 10 million. Saved out of 1 year labor. But you can't take even 2 days to evaluate various areas to invest that money. And because you don't want to tire your mind, and your cousin told you there is something hot, people are putting up their money, you put your money there. You only have yourself to blame. So I'm here to tell you, yes, equities are good and shares are good. I can give you a clue on what to do, but you must do the work of knowing where you are putting your money. Basic analysis is needed. You don't need to be a CPA. You don't need to be an economist. With our phones, you'll get all the data you need about any company in Kenya and in the US. So, that's the challenge I'm throwing to us. After making the money, tire your mind a little bit to know where are you putting your money so that it generates even more money. So I'm still in shares. So shares, you took
this is what I do. I look at the global economy, then global markets. Global markets, how are they doing? I look at that. I follow NYSE, I follow NASDAQ. Back at home, I mean, information is free. Bloomberg, CNBC, they tell me every day by market close. Or I can check my phone real time. After you know, you mix between two things. Interest rate, and then you check global markets. For example, now, I am anticipating because of what is happening in Iran. Of course, you have seen fuel is going up. Here you call it gas. And then, when they go up, inflation goes up. I mean, economic tendencies, they never go wrong. And even in May, inflation will go up here in the US and also in Kenya. It will go up. When inflation goes up, so Federal Reserve is likely, at the very best, when they are meeting next, at the very best, they will sustain the Federal Reserve rate. But the more probable, they are going to raise by 25 basis points. Most likely. Now, in Kenya, when our CPK meets what we call Monetary Policy Committee, they are likely at the very best sustain our CPR at what it is, or they are likely to push it higher to contain inflation. CPR, yes. CPR is central bank rate. It needed interest rate that is set by our central bank. It informs how the banks rate. It informs also the money you get when you fix your money, and informs the much of the yield you get when you invest in your T-bills and bonds. So if this interest rate will be going up, most of the time it may bring jitters in the stock market. Because this is how it goes. When interest rates go up, especially here in the US, the global money comes to be fixed in dollar terms. When the Federal Reserve rate is 5%, a fund manager will find it better to fix all the money using the dollar rate. They get a 5%. But when the interest rates are going down, there is nothing much to gain. Most of the money now goes into shares. But that is, I didn't mean now come lower. So you started the global markets, you started the regional markets. In a nutshell, I still believe now Kenya still has among the cheapest shares in the world. Cheapest. Then the price at which you are buying shares in Kenya, ni kupewa bure. I mean, the companies are for free. And I'm using parameters that are globally accepted. I was telling the team yesterday there's something called PE ratio. PE ratio is usually my best friend when I'm analyzing shares. PE means price over earning ratio. It measures this. When you we build a flat, you spend 50 million, and you get 5 million in rent a year. How long will it take you to recover your money? A 50 million flat, 5 million rent per year. How long?
10 years.
10. So 10 is the PE ratio of that flat. That's what PE is. How long will it take me to recover my money using the present earnings of the company? How long will it take me to recover my money using the present earnings of the company I am buying? So I'm assuming the company will not make more profit or less. Ikitengeneza tu vile inatengeneza, how long will it take me? So P is years. P ratio measures periods, which is in years. In the US, if you bought all the companies listed in the US today, and you freeze them, no more growth, ile faida wametengeneza juzi, they just sustain. It will take you 27 years to recover your money, on average. But that is average. Tech companies, hot tech companies is even higher. A Tesla stock has a PE ratio of over 300. So it will take you 300 years to recover your money using only net profit.
A place like Nigeria, South Africa has around maybe 15 to 19. That is if you put all of them. Nigeria around 11. Kenya is around 5.6. So if you bought all the companies listed in Kenya today, it will take you 5.6 years to recover your money using last year's profit. That's what I mean. Are we together? But then you don't stop there. You go now to sectors. Because what I've given is average. Maybe there are some companies that have a very high PE ratio. Maybe they are putting up the PE ratio of Kenya. Safaricom being tech companies generally have higher PE ratios. So Safaricom has around 16.1. But PE ratios appear of Safaricom, let's say Tisala, they have a PE ratio of like 30. Let me leave that there. Let me come to Kenya. You go to sectors. You go to banks. You go to insurance companies. You check. What is the strength? Because I'm using PE ratio as a proxy because it's the easiest. And you don't need to calculate. Google can give you through AI. Just asking. And Kenya has only 60 listed companies. And out of 60, maybe only 30 are the ones who would be interested. So start now zooming in into those ones to see which ones you actually put up your money. So in my opinion, one of the sectors doing very well in Kenya is banking. Over the time. Banking is reporting all the time growth in profit except 2020. For the right reason. It's not about the Kenyan economy. It's about the foresight of the banks. The banks in Kenya are expanding beyond Kenya. So when Equity Bank goes to Tanzania, the profit made in Tanzania is reported as profit by Equity Bank Group back in Kenya. So the share your grandfather bought in Kagema when Equity was starting, when it had 2 branches in Kahatia and Kagema, and your grandfather bought 1 share. When Equity opens a branch in Kisumu, that share is also there. When Equity opens a branch in Mombasa, that share is still there following and fetching money for your grandfather. When Equity goes to Tanzania, that share is still there because it is the group that is expanding. When Equity goes to DRC, the share of your grandfather, iko DRC kimtafutia pesa. And that is what I was talking about. When you invest in a company, especially when you have done your homework well, you are investing in something that has life. And the basis of doing the research when you are buying the share is so that you actually buy a company with life, not the one without life. So proxy one is PE ratio. When you are evaluating a bank, you still use PE ratio, but you still use something called price to book. You can always get it online. But just because I see some are noting, just note price to book value. Price to book value measures. This water is selling at $1. This water. And since tumekubaliana, cost of this water, including the profit ya mwenye hii maji, ni $1. If you pay $1.5, what have you done? Have you paid more or less? So have you paid a discount or a premium? You have paid a premium. What if you pay 40 cents? So between the one paying 40 cents and the one paying $1.5, who is a better investor? Say it loudly, be confident. You are actually right. You know what I mean? Mfanya hivyo. So when you are not sure, you unasema na low tone, so that you can always change along the way. When you buy this at 40 cents and another one buys at 1.5, but the real value is $1, who is better off? Very good. Money in the markets, like in everything else, including buying anything you buy, money is made at the point of purchase, not at the point of sale. You don't make profit when you are selling anything. You make profit when you are buying. by making sure you buy it at the lowest possible price. Let me repeat, money is not made at the point of sale. Money is made at the point of purchase. So price to book value helps you to know, am I buying this thing at a discount or am I buying it at a premium? And if I'm buying at a premium, what are the reasons I should pay a premium? And if it is a discount, why is it so at a value? Why is it at a discount even? Then you dig slightly deeper. So, the reason we're having this talk to you, because I want the diaspora of Kenya, my take, I would want after this talk, the diaspora here in the US and everywhere else in the world, you need to dominate our NSC. And you don't just buy shares. You buy shares, you buy so much, maybe in a company, from Robo here in the US, you actually be sending 2 directors to represent you in that company, because you already have too many shares. This seems like it's undoable. Some of the companies listed in the NSC they have a valuation of 5 billion shillings. You guys in this hall can raise even 1 billion, either directly and borrowing some. So you can easily get that kind of a percentage in that company. And then you even aid in the governance of that company. That is what investors aim. Not just aiming to buy 2 shares, 10 shares. Buy like you're buying the entire company. Because it's possible. I want you to do something that I want to wind up with. Those who are there yesterday, you don't have to. But the rest, remove your phones. I never met you yesterday. Ndio tufanye sasa exam. Because hakuna kitu aina exam. I want you to check for me. And please, can you go with me here? A flat will take you how long to recover your money? 12, 15, is it? So let's go to Google. Check there. How much did Equity Bank make as net profit last year? Because I want you to be doing this afterwards for yourself. Very good, very good. Iweke pahali, yandike pahali, 75.5 billion net profit. Now, ask the same AI person, what is the valuation of Equity Bank now? What is the valuation? Valuation is also called market cap. What is the market capitalization? It's the same thing. If you want to sound like you're in the US, you can say, what is the market capitalization of Equity Bank? 279. So divide 279 and 75.5. Because basically, tuseme tunanunua Equity leo. Ebu kwanza wenye muna type. Look at it. Kama tunanunua Equity leo tukiwa hii hall, tutalipa pesa ngapi? Ni hiyo mmetafuta hapo. How much? 280? Hiyo 280 something. 280. Is the money we pay for all the shares, then all of us here will end up owning it. So it's like our flat. Sio ni flat yetu sasa. So to find its PE ratio, you divide the rent they took last year, in quotes, profit, was 75.5. So divide. That it will take you 3 years to recover your money using last year's profit. But we are talking about a company that is also growing. Meaning, the denominator is a moving target. Year 75, next year it will be higher. It's a moving target. Can you think of any other company in Kenya we check for you? KQ nikesema tuweke kando. I will tell you something about it. I have bought. I'm sure you saw some of you. Take KCB, check KCB. The same question. Same question you ask about KCB. It gives you what?
215.
215, I check profit, then divide.
68.
68, so divide. 215 divided by 68. Can you imagine that? I think it doesn't seem even real. If you bought the entire KCB today, and you tell them don't grow profit, it will take you 3 years to recover your money. Somebody check Kenya Power, the same thing. Kenya Power in terms of profit, right vizuri kwa sababu they close their books in June. So these others close in December. So ukiandika, what was the profit up to June 2025? Utaandika hivyo. Yes, but you have to check what is the valuation or market cap today. How much? So divide. What are you finding? I know you think your calculator is wrong. What are you finding? 1 year in. So, you people here, because you have capacity, please, when you meet for Chama, elevate the discussion now. From table banking to owning things. The men here in Lowo, I know maybe you don't have Chamas. When we meet for Buzi, pale kwa Hosea. Now it's about thinking about taking over Kenyari, taking over KCB, taking over this other bank, because even with 2%, you've already taken it over. The CEO of Equity Bank already has 5% of equity. But where ukiulizwa na mtu equity ni nani unasemaga ni nani? Mwantu wa equity still, but he has 5%. Some of these companies, to control them, you don't need to own much. You can control a company listed in the NSE by only owning 5% of it. Because the other shareholders are fragmented. So you vote as a block 5%, you can get 4 directors of that company. So the challenge as I see it, remittances have to be transformed into FDI. Let's elevate the money we have from setting for consumerism as remittances back at home. Let us be totally active in setting real FDI and not to do the usual traditional investments we've already known. There are better opportunities than those. And focus on publicly listed companies first. Why? A publicly listed company, somebody has already done the background work for you because it's regulated. For example, you are buying land that is publicly listed. You don't need to worry about the title. Ati iko na watu 10. Ati kuna mtu anamwaga mchanga. When you buy a publicly listed company, there are layers of regulators in other companies. There is NSC to check on them, that they release information to you and the public after every 6 months, and for financial companies after every 3 months. There is CMA to check on them. They must always publish their information. So focus on listed companies. Some of you may realize that there are gold mines hidden there. Thank you very much.
Wow, let's appreciate him well, guys. Let's yes. Thank you. Remember, Africa is and this is not a tongue twister. This is Africa. We're all Africans. We know we have a lot of problems, and biashara is ours, right? How many feel like you appreciated or you learned something today? Well, you're the one who is not raising your hand. What did you learn, my friend? One word. Not Not one word. We have a gold mine. Do we all agree? And you know what? We don't have so many leaders who will come here, and for being very honest, we don't have a lot of leaders who come here and remind us about the gold mine and also tell us how to go and do the mining itself. Right? We've attended, what did you call it? 80 by 100 or 50 by 100. You know? Yeah, we've had a lot of that, which is okay. There's space and place for it. That's okay. But I really appreciated this. Okay, one more lady. Yeah, what did you learn? Where is that? Yeah, what did you learn? One word. Not none of that.
Me.
Huh?
Myself. Me.
You, yourself, and you.
Okay. Can I also ask a question?
Afterwards. Hold on. You save the question. You know some people are What did you learn? Yes, thank you.
That we should take time and know where to invest our money.
We should take time and yes. That is what a great lesson. You know, you left home thinking, I'm going to come and listen to this politician, and he's going to tell me he's running for president, and this one is not good, this one is, and just vote for me. But you come here and you realize, oh my goodness, this is for my own benefit. So we should take time to learn and understand, right? Maybe one more thing from here. Yes, ma'am. What did you learn? Yes. Yes, it's you.
Are you talking to me?
Huh? No, me? Yes, please. One thing. What did you learn? Yes, please.
I've learned. I'm really investing to two groups in Kenya, and they are not doing that good. So I might take my money and decide to put it somewhere.
So, but you just fired two groups, one in Kenya. They're kind of not doing so good. We're going to take your money. So take it to the gold mine.
I know.
I was there last night. I was taking notes. Even today, I was taking my notes. I was paying attention to those companies. But I've never thought about this market valuation. I thought, if you can make 60 billions, Kimani, I know you love numbers, especially when you hear profit, you're like, yes, they grow, you know. And then these companies, you give us this example of the Mfuko. You walk in and, so there's a lot to learn, and I personally benefited, and I hope you did. We want to open this up for some few questions. I know Mheshimiwa had a long day, and we appreciate, and so are the Massachusetts people. We have some questions. So if I can get the other microphone, please. It's okay, that's you. I think that's yours. We will use this one. All right, so this is the thing. We'll start with you. So you will tell us your name, and you will ask us one question. Okay, she has two questions, so you might want to wait at the end, right? You want to see him? Okay, so can we all agree one question so that we give everybody an opportunity? Is that fair?
Yes, fair enough.
Is that fair?
Yes,
okay, all right. And then we have a sister right here. We'll pass the mic around, and Mheshimiwa will just tell us when to take a break, and we'll continue. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mheshimiwa. That was a very bright, brilliant presentation. My name is Janet Wabui, and I have two questions in one. Number one, you said that real estate is not that profitable and will take a long time. Yet I know, and I know a lot of people in real estate, and they say that property appreciates. Personally, I've sold a property that was, I bought very low, and I sold it a lot later. So you made me wonder whether it is still a good investment to make. Number two, where is the question evaporating? Where is the question evaporating? Oh my goodness. Okay, that's good enough. All right.
I'm ready.
So that's a question by itself. The why is the question. So the first question we had, and the second question is why is the question evaporating, right? So please take a deep breather. think about that question. I know it happens, right? You don't want to say, man, I got there and then, you know, okay. So next person, I think for the purpose of recording and taking the video recording, please, you come to the front and you will, yes, same rules, I think will apply perfectly. Tell us your name, ask your one question, and thank you.
My name is Dr. Gigi. I have a question for you, Mheshimiwa. Would you buy the share when it is IPO or when it is registered?
See, Dr. Gigi got it. My name is this. Shares IP. Okay, next person, please. Yes, you can come. Yeah, thank you.
Hello, my name is Martin Munene. Thank you, Mheshimiwa. My first question is that you brought us a long way about everything, but here's a big elephant. We want to know, the big elephant in Kenya is government. So government is hiding behind Kenya Cement, Portland, all those companies like Pipeline. How can you tell that the government is not involved? Because government is a mafia, is the biggest mafia. And you either be in the government or you're not in the government. So all these companies, since we were brought up, and I'm so happy, Mheshimiwa, because most of us, even buying an apartment that is off sky with no title, we were struggling. We have these ways, years and years, that are embedded on ourselves about certain things has to be like this, and we are happy because you're introducing us into the new stuff. But my biggest question is this: how will you know the government is not involved? KCC, or name it, Kenya Pipe, Jadam, all of them, government is always behind. And once Kenya Re, very good company, but certain percentage controlled by the government. That's my question. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. My name is Chris. I think mine is a two-part question. You told us to invest, but I think you left out how do we invest? Yes, like how do we get into the NSC? And also the second part of it as to how we get into the NSC is Safaricom launched ZD Trader, ZD Invest, right? So could you just give us a little background on that and how we can operate it, because we can use it on our phones, and then maybe is it easier for us to just go through that and how we can do that? Thank you.
Thank you. He want to do it. He's sold, he's all in, he want to do it. Yes, please come. So what happened to the evaporation? Yeah? Okay.
Hello, my name is Anne Kimani. Thank you, Mheshimiwa, for coming. My question is for us that bought lands, loads and loads of land. Do we dispose the lands to get the shares now? Just dispose it and buy the shares? Or what do we do with it? The other question is about the platforms that we used to buy shares in Kenya. Do we have those that are reputable? Because sometimes you kind of get scared because everything in Kenya is not straight up. So we kind of get scared when you're buying the shares.
Great question.
Atufungi, vile naona it's good to answer them as they come. I think 5 is a good number. Janet Waboi, about real estate. I agree that you made money, but where is Waboi?
Yeah.
When was that? When? Around when?
The property was like 20 years.
When did you sell? When did you sell?
Like 5 years ago.
When did you bought?
Like 20 years prior.
That's what I was saying. Even me, there's a plot I bought, I think in Kawasukari, 3 million. That was 2012 or 2013. They are now around 14. Is it? But for how long have they been 14? That's the thing. There is a time and period for everything. Real estate have had its period in Kenya. My observation. And that is the reason why there are more people here wanting to dispose, but they can't find buyers. But back then, you were going to the office as 3 people wanting the same plot. So that's why the land prices were up. As I said before, let's say you bought a plot in Roiro, let's say bypass. But the estate called bypass keeps on expanding inwards. Because when there's a tarmac road, so the person touching the highway and the other one who is the 10th row, they all are served by a tarmac, let's say so. So the town expands. When it expands, the supply of that land expands also. The prices crash. That's how it has been working. Every time there is infrastructure development, and when the city has still potential to expand, real estate prices gets decimated. I hope you get clear. So timing has been the thing. It's just the same way. There are people in our own NSC who bought shares very expensively. They never made money. It was still timing. Let's say, for example, there is somebody who bought KQ shares maybe at 20. Nia bought it maybe at 5.5 shares. So what I'm saying is, the timing now, when I do my own research, our NSC is still very undervalued. And that's why I think there is still some opportunities there. Dr. Gigi, IPOs or later, depends. Always do the analysis. Let me give an example of Kenya Pipeline. When they brought in the prospectus, I did the arithmetic myself. I realized they had a PE ratio of over 20. So it is listed in the energy sector in the NSC. Energy sector has Kenya Pipeline, Total Energies, Kenya Power, Umeme, and Kenyan. So because they're the same sector, I did simple analysis, just PE, nothing more. Then you realize Kenyan has a PE ratio of around 6. Total Energies and its private sector has a PE ratio of around 11. Kenya Power has PE ratio of below 2. And then you're selling me a company at PE ratio of 20. So I never needed even to know what to do in terms of doing more analysis past that. It was already too obvious. Because all the other companies have been making consistent profits. So I'm not talking about a junk company or a startup. It is, Kenyan is solid, Kenya Power is solid, Total Energies is solid, Umeme has been solid. Over the years, making profits, paying dividends, except for a brief period for Kenya Power, maybe. And then you sell me one that will take me 22 years in terms of PE ratio. So when you do, let's say there is a listing, Dr. Ari, of a bank. Let's say Family Bank is listing. And you do their PE ratio comes to 8. Why are you going to a PE ratio of 8 when there is a PE ratio of 3 in the same market? But if they list as a PE ratio of 2.5, we can talk. Martin, I agree with you in terms of government. What I've been saying here, I'm not saying there is a difference between investing in a company. Let me rephrase. There is a difference between investing in a country or an economy and investing in government. Don't focus. When you focus, like when you're investing, you are investing in a government. I know none of you will invest. Because by the look of your faces, you don't like what is at home. So, focus on that only. That this is Kenya, this is a company based in Kenya. And the company is very dependent to those people who are in power. The second layer, which I think you are now precisely asking, how do you know the government is not involved in this company? All this information is public. The government stakes in companies. It's public. If you just download the last financial statements of any company, it gives you even the top 10 shareholders. The reason why you see people know I already have Kenya Power shares is not because I say it. It's because it's a requirement of Kenya Power to list their top 10, their shareholders. So if a newspaper picks, it is public information. So even for government, it's the same. And as I was saying yesterday, the things I talk about stock market for me, you know, there are people who tell you nyama choma is good because they look at it, it looks yummy. I say it because at least I've tasted the yummy nyama choma. I bought Kenya Power shares when it was around 1.8 on average, 1.8 shillings. So, you guys by then, we are talking about 2024 Kenya Power share was around 1.8 to 2 shillings. I'm not talking about Mesopotamia time, 2024. It was 1 shilling 80 cents. So you had your 10 million shillings. You bought what you bought, you know what you bought. 10 million shares that same time would have bought you 2.5 million shares at 2 shillings each. So the product you bought for 10 million, try to sell it today. Tell me whether you actually get the price you bought it at. So take your calculator and do, if you bought 2.5 million Kenya Power shares that time, at an average price of last week of 17, how much would be that? Just do 2.5 times 17. How much is it? I see some ladies who are very, very passionate in doing that, man. How much is it?
59.5.
Those are not fiction. That's not fiction. At least me, I know it's not fiction because I participated in buying. In the same year, 2024, December, HF did a light issue. HF is a bank in Kenya. And I did the math, I saw this. I had actually done the math earlier. What niwaambie ukweli? There's something I did sometime. So I did the math of HF. Because I love doing those things. Ukizianza, you also love them because you realize they are helpful. They are more helpful than just chatting on Facebook and WhatsApp. And you realize the time you need is so small to know so much. So, in 2023, towards the end, I studied all the Kenyan banks. Then I realized there is this bank that had around 380 million shares. That time it was trading below 4 shillings. And then I realized this whole bank is just around 1 billion shillings. It's a lot of money, yes. Then I started thinking, what if I sell all the shares I have? I buy maybe a quarter of this thing. Hata mimi nikuwe nasema niko na bank. Of course, looking for buyers, I couldn't find them. And I'm being honest, I actually approached the biggest shareholders of HF. I know that I hate the money. Sometimes you just have to be more confident that the money you have. When you are confident that the money you have, the money also looks for a confident person sometimes. So I met them. I want to buy this thing. I didn't have the money, of course, because I could only have sold something to buy this one. To cut the long story short, the float in the market was too small. One shareholder had 50%. Another one, I don't know what. So to find somebody to buy this share, it was so cheap that time. It was 3 point something. I actually bought some that time. Kwa bahati mzuri, wakapanga right issue. Within my same month, I still saw this right issue is undervalued. So I went in there. We bought at 4 shillings. I sold mine last month at 10 shillings 50 cents. I've already sold. Because I also did the math and realized at 10.5, HF was the most expensive share in the banking industry. So I bought that and bought equity. So, what am I saying? I don't trade, I invest. But investing also doesn't shut you from evaluating over time. I buy with a long-term view. Even HF I had bought with long-term view. But I think 1 year is long enough for even you to know somebody. So when I did the math comparative, I realized the 10.5 their P ratio was the highest in the industry. Kwa bahati mzuri, NSC is open market. I sold the 10.5 because Why hold a share in the same industry with a PE of, let's say, 10, when I have an opportunity to have a PE of 3? Higher. Safaricom, Chris. Oh, lastly, hii swali because ni watu wako na hiyo shida sana, Martin, wacha ni bado niseme hii. Government ownership doesn't necessarily mean you should flee. No. Don't be deceived when you look maybe at companies that government has a stake and they are not doing so well. Always look at sectors. Look at sectors and look at what is the worst case scenario. What is the worst the government can do with this company? Take, for example, Kenyan. The valuation of Kenyan is 60 billion shillings. But these fellows make profit all the time. All the time they pay dividends. The assets is 500 billion shillings. Now, there is an euro in Kenya. The government will only be taking directors commensurate to their shareholding. You know, Kitambo, they were doing this. The government owns 50.1% of, let's say, Kenya Power, but they were controlling the entire board. It's no longer the case. The government has 60% of Kenyan, but they were controlling the entire company. Now there are new regulations. They will only get board members commensurate to their shares. If they have 60%, they get 60% of board members. All the others are voted for by the other shareholders. So the shares, now there is Class A and Class B. And not in the US definition, but in this category of government stake and private shareholder stake. So it means there is new blood now in these companies. This law is taking course now this year in many companies. Kenyan, Kenyari, and all these other things, including Kenya Pipeline. I think they should have that also. That's why even Museveni negotiated for 2 board members. So, this thing you should not fear at the government in Kenyari. No, look at the fundamentals of Kenyari. Why? Being listed also constrains the government from being Basak. They can't go Basak. Government has 19% in KCB, but they control the entire KCB. But it's the same reason the market places a discount on this KCB. Market is sometimes is very interesting. The market already senses the government is here, so it has already undervalued the company. So it has already priced the share with your fear in mind, which is a good thing. So the money, how you make money in the market, you don't make money by acting when every person is acting. There's a time I bought KQ shares the other day. And then Business Daily in Kenya carried that story. And somebody was asking me, you are buying this thing, it made losses last year. Then I asked them. So I wait for when they make profit to buy. So I asked myself, what's the worst case scenario that can happen to this company? And I think boxes, I think my fears got tempered with, because the company has already costed by fears. That's why the company is cheap. So when I was buying Kenya Power, it has been squeezed in many dimensions. But when I look at the bonds, you know, there is a time you can run every morning, unakoda kidogo. You run in Boston, you shed off, is it? You can go to the gym, you shed off, is it? But your bonds are still intact. So there is a time you realize a company can be inagogeshwa. So imejaa ma blisters because of the turbulent period imekuwa. But when I started the bone and I see the bone is intact, hii ingine tutapaka mafuta baadaye. So you go to a company, like when I was buying Kenya Power, everyone was selling because now what's here. Me, I was here wondering, what choice do we have? If you build a house, those fellows you still have to beg them to give you electricity. And you still apply, they take 3 months, like they don't care. because it's a monopoly. Then I was thinking, what can I lose in the worst case scenario? Then, na share inatoka 2 shillings. Hata peremende haitoki hivyo. Then I decided, let me get in here. The worst case scenario is already here in front of my eyes. It can't get worse than this. Now, I'm still buying that Kenya Power even at 17. Because I do the math and I think, where will I get a company with a P ratio of 1.5 in the entire world? I have just searched, I have not found any. I think I'm also not very, can you just imagine, buy a share at 2 shillings and you're still buying it at 17? Si hata mnanihurumia. But I'm just saying, what is the option? Maybe back then the profit was 2 billion. Right now it's 24. So you're not talking about the same company of 2024. We are talking about a company making 24 billion. So we are dealing with 2 companies here. Kenyan used to be 5 shillings up to last year mid. It's now around 9. But if I compare Kenyan with a company doing similar things in Nigeria, let's say Transcorp Power, let's say Geregu Power, those companies are valued 4 times Kenyan, and they are doing same thing. And Kenyan is producing double their capacity. So when I do all that analysis, I realize I don't know what every other person is saying about this share. I think it's undervalued. Equity share, if I do the math, please don't, I'm not recommending what you buy. I'm just telling you what I've done in the past. It will not necessarily be what you'll do in the future. So just do those basic analyses I enumerated. Chris, how to invest? Have a CDS account. Get any licensed broker in Kenya. Nowadays, it's difficult for any broker to disappear with your money. It is not actually not possible. Even if a broker closes, your shares will still be intact. Nowadays, even if you sell current shares today, CMA will reign on that broker within days. So don't fear anything. I can tell you there's nothing to fear anymore. At least our regulations have become tighter out of the previous experiences. About the Safaricom app, me, I'm traditional. I like dealing with a broker. I like dealing with a broker, a stockbroker direct. And a broker can also be a bank. There are many banks in Kenya who have stock brokerages. Co-op has, Equity has, KCB has. So you don't need to worry. I also have one, but buy with the one you know already. Anke money. Again, it was about land and real estate. You know, I have a very bad handwriting. I'm even struggling to read my own handwriting. You had asked about the brokers. I have asked. Hiyo ya land. Oh, ya kwanza ilikuwa land. What was it about land? Sorry.
After, yeah, we'll take it. Please be quick.
Thank you, Sana Mheshimiwa. My name is James Nganga, for those who don't know me. Long-time resident of Alo, but most days, I'm always in Kenya. Now, Mheshimiwa, we like your knowledge very much, very nice. The way you speak it out, everybody loves it. But we have a problem in Kenya, as far as I know, with the custodian was FDI. You say we want us to invest in Kenya, but who our custodians were FDI to Kenya to bring Kenya investment? Corruption is killing that country. But I mean, all the way around, corruption is just too much. You're talking about the stock. The stock, I don't know whether you know that inside trading is being done in Kenya in a very systematic way. Somebody would buy, inflate a stock in order to, and then everybody say, oh, this stock is doing very well, and they invest, and it's one person or 2 people doing it with a couple millions, rich people, and then people raise that stock up, and when it's up, they withdraw the money. They're selling it at a profit. So there's a worry when we talk about FDI in Kenya. Now, with your knowledge, a quick question, with your knowledge, do you run a hedge fund yourself? And if not, would you consider doing it? Some of us here are actually retiring pretty soon. Me included. I'm almost time to go and relax in Kenya. We need a way we can have somebody who knows how to invest money. We give him our money, he can do the investment for us. I mean, a hedge fund, that's what I'm talking about. So, if that can help, that would be a nice thing. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we'll take one more question here.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. We are really honored to have you. Thank you for your great leadership and the insights that you brought in. I feel like my questions has been touched on, but I will just go right ahead. My name is Edith Marcy. As a great leader, you say, brings impact to the people and generations. How do we replicate Kiharu nationwide? Is it possible? A concerned youth, because of the state of our nation, nepotism, abductions, goons. Are you to be that man that impacts Kenya? How can we, you have full of so much brains, right? How are we able to bring up all of this brain, youthful brains, and be able to create a new Kenya and help our generation? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah. You can have a seat right there. No, this one, sorry.
Asante Mheshimiwa, my name is Carol. Number one, where were you 2020, 2018? Most of us are late to this conversation. Number two, when you hear about the issues of pumping and dumping, you have come here and you've talked to a generation exposed to technology. So you have TD, Ameritrade, Fidelity, Robinhood. Okay, you have autonomy. So this is not the same cohort you have in Kenya. How am I sure? Because it's 12 o'clock in America. Can I get in touch with my broker? All right, when they are pumping and dumping, how can I withdraw my stock immediately to avoid the losses? What infrastructure do you have to mitigate that? Thank you.
Oh, that was good. Thank you.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. My name is Mwikali. My question is, I wanted to address currency risk because we are changing from dollar to Kenya shillings and it's a bit volatile. Also, I wanted to talk about governance and oversight because recently in March, I saw that PwC has been debarred by World Bank. Then, one of the market indicators I'm looking at as an investor is big companies are moving. CMC closed down after 40 years. There was Procter & Gamble. And yesterday I read that Stanchart is leaving. So what are some of the mitigations you're doing as a country to avoid that? Thank you.
Wow, let's appreciate that. So we'll take yours and then Mheshimiwa, you can do those, right?
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. My name is Alan. I had a question, maybe you can make a comment on it. What's your take as investment vehicles between things like MansaX, Fund, all these other vehicles that are there in comparison with the shares? Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa.
Let me come here because I think this is the last round. David, in terms of politics, I think from my speech you can already tell that I have a lot of reservations with what is happening in Kenya. And not just political reservations, economic ones. Because I decided the politics I want to engage in is politics that has a chance of progressing our country forward. And that is why you've been seeing me stuck on issues for a long time. And elections are next year. Of course, you know where we are or not. There is no ambiguity about that. And I hope there is no ambiguity in this one about that. On where we were and left, I mean, there is no ambiguity about that. And therefore, because there is time up to next year, allow me, I'll get an opportunity when we actually start the work to come and then do the political work. Because I don't want to mix for today. You know, I'm a politician. If I start talking about politics, I'll talk up to morning, and you don't have that time. So allow me to leave it there for now. But to go to James Nganga, the custodian of FDI. The FDI that I would really beseech you to engage in is not even the sophisticated one that you do projects. Just focus on publicly listed companies. Why? There is already somebody who has done some work for you in terms of regulation, in terms of making sure that the information you access is correct. You are not likely to make bigger mistakes in a listed company than you are likely to do in buying or investing in a private company or property. The other thing you asked is about insider trading. What I can tell you for sure, I have bought shares since my first year in campus. If there is one thing that I give it to our market, is that the only insider trading that happened was a case that was there for a KCB Mzungu CEO who used to be there. And the case was very ruthless to him. So I can say to a large extent that our market is fairly not adulterated by insider trading. Because the rules are there. For example, if you are a director in a company, even the people close to you are barred from trading in that company for a period when there is supposed to be a material announcement. So to a large extent, my experience is that I actually have nothing to fear in our market when it comes to insider trading. Because the price has been put too high for anyone who wants to do it, and many times they shy away from it. And you know, corporate people are much more decent than political ones. So the people who are likely to engage in insider trading are the corporate ones. Because they are the ones who have inside information. Normally a politician will not know much about trading or even about listed company, because they are busy with the other work of being a politician. So they are not likely to even access that information. I can tell you as a person who is heavily invested in our own NSC, insider trading is not there to a large extent. I mean, I can say that confidently, that you don't actually have to fear about it. If you look at the politicians involved in trading or investing in our own NSC, they are also very few. So also that gives it some insulation of some sort. Whether I have a hedge fund? No. I can consider having one. Even if I had, I will not come to this meeting to talk about it. Because of one thing. I want to have a very clear line between Ndindi Nyoro, the politician, and Ndindi Nyoro, who has experience in the capital markets. I come to share this kind of information purely for free. And somebody would ask me, why? Then what's your benefit? So you'll be sleeping or walking around Boston. Why? I mean, what's your benefit in this thing? Yes. You know, I've been doing it even in Kenya. If I put business interest in it, then I will no longer be useful to Kenyans anymore. So that's why I can't even disclose to you any intermediary that I have a personal stake in. Because it will somehow also divert your mind on what you need to do. Maybe your account is with KCB Bank.
KCB have a stockbroker in its firm. It makes work easy for you to just open a CDS there.
We need a custodian for our FBI.
Yes, custodian now. Now look at it this way. My FDI in this forum was purely about listed companies, and I appreciate that confidence you have. But our stock market has very solid institutions. One institution is the NSE itself. It's not even government. It is you can actually buy shares in NSE. It is a private company which is by itself listed. Now you have CMA, which is the government regulator. To a large extent, one of the regulators that I actually know in Kenya we have a good regulator is CMA and the Central Bank of Kenya. Those ones I know we have very good people running them. And the beauty is that even with political interference, the institutional strength is so strong that political interference can only scratch the surface. CBK and CMA. So I have a lot of confidence in what they do. It's not like any other government entity where a phone call will be made and something is done. Those two, at least, I know they have been able to do a good job. So the FDI I'm talking about is based on NSE, CMA, and listed companies. And then the intermediary. Intermediary is Robinhood, Interactive Brokers, and Fidelity here. But back in Kenya, these are stock brokers. They are like 40. Don't limit your choice. I can tell you any licensed one that you trade with is good enough. That one I'm sure of. Because nowadays, even nowadays for a bank to collapse in Kenya is very difficult. Because CPK literally runs our banks. Every day they have to send reports. So red flags are seen too early. Stockbroking is the same. When there is a red flag in any trade, CMA will be there that evening. So our market has been able to solidify using previous strengths, and anywhere you touch is insulated. The reason why I'm focusing you on private companies is because it is the market that has undervalued companies. It is not the companies that are bad. Let me put it into context. EABL is in the process of having a transaction where the top shareholder called Diageo is selling their stake to a Japanese company called Asahi. So by the time they were talking about selling, EABL shares was 250 shillings. But these people, the same share, they are transacting the same share at 590 shillings. So it tells you the right valuation is 590, but the market has undervalued the company to 250. So that is why I'm saying about making money through the gaps of the market. When the market is ignorant, it is your information that reigns, and you make money with your information. Mercy, I agree. Thank you for the compliment. I am a member of parliament already, which I'm very grateful for. Be sure one thing I know. Mtu moja hawezi jaribu nchi. I am sure of that. Things will shape up. And be sure all of us as Kenyans will be part of that. And whatever little thing we can give, it will happen. If there is something that I don't even worry about, it's about next year's election. I don't. I don't worry. I think mnasema nini hapo? So, I mean, hakuna mtu Kenya hajaumia kwa mambo ambayo inafanyika, sio? So, my work now in the intervening period, the reason why you see me avoiding opt-in politics is because if you all go opt-in and there is no one to put things into order in terms of real issues, then we'll be lost in between, but we may not get the real change that we want. And I can tell you many times, I was telling the other people I was with yesterday, sometimes I wake up, I take a Kenyan sector, I research it on what needs to be done. So that as change happens in Kenya, Kenya must be ready to actually take over from there.
I'm using mambo mengi kusema kitu moja. Carol, why I didn't come here, you are late? No, you are not late. In fact, it's too early. The kind of peace I've given here have never existed anywhere. Why? Somebody may argue, oh, you guys bought Kenya Power at 1.8. Sasa unatopia ikiwa 17. It was making how much then? Maybe 2 billion shillings. So the PE maybe was higher then than now. So maybe the company is cheaper now than when I bought. So what I'm saying, don't remove Kenya Power from this analysis because I am an interested party there. But I'm saying, when you started those companies, you realize maybe KCB Bank is in its cheapest. Maybe. I already gave you what to look at. Because even when the share was 20, maybe the PE was 7. Because the share was expensive, but the profit was small. So opportunities are still there. You are not late. In fact, 2018 would have been worse. Because our market peaked in 2020 after COVID. So you still have bought maybe shares higher than you are buying them now. Mukali, thank you very much for very, very good questions. One, currency risk. I agree, there is currency risk. Now, this is how I look at it. If I buy $1 today and I do nothing with it, it doesn't even give me any return. But our Kenya shillings loses by 50%. I have made 50%. Because if I convert my money to Kenya shillings, my money will be more in aggregate. That is it. But now, I also don't overthink. Because if you overthink, you'll never do anything. There is a clear case of mechanics to overthink. Dollar is the greenback. It's the strongest currency in the world. But the dollar lost 10% last in 2025. The dollar lost. Can you imagine that? In 2025, the greenback lost 10% against a basket of global currencies. So it's a greenback, it's a reserve currency. But it also loses. So that's why when I'm analyzing the market, I first of all want to shut the issue of the currency, especially when I'm not dealing with a very volatile market. If I'm dealing with NGX for Nigeria, I must do the issue of the currency. Because the last 5 months, years will show me the volatility of the currency can wipe out all your wealth. But if I'm dealing with an economy that's not as volatile, then I don't want to consider currencies too much. Because it will make me not take any position when I need to because of fear. The second one is about governance and oversight. PwC, there was a case in Rwanda, I think, if I'm not wrong. Now, a listed company in Kenya, you do your financial analysis. Before you post, if you're a bank, actually the CPK authorizes the bank to publish financial statements. And sometimes they push them to change some things. If you are the provision of a provision, so it's a very regulated sector, that's why, and the confidence is in that. And we have very, very patriotic Kenyans in CPK. That's one place I've seen. I wish Kenya is run like the Central Bank of Kenya. There are people who actually do their work. So, the kind of, and CMA also, when you now know that, okay, what are we talking about? You can either invest money private or public. In my opinion, public has much lower risk than private. If I'm buying a bank which is private, only CPK checks them. There's no CMA. Why can't I go to the one that has more checks and balances? So, regulatory quality of institutions in Kenya, I can say, in the listed companies, that is very little to worry about. Even the companies that collapse, they don't collapse because of weakness in oversight. They collapse because of the weakness in the companies themselves. As I go to the close, Stanchart leaving Kenya and other companies, I agree it's worrisome when companies leave Kenya, but I wish we had time. I would have told you,
if I was CPK, I would actually put up very tough, not regulation, I'm looking for a word. I'd be very tough on companies investing in our banking sector in Kenya. I would make it very difficult for an un-Kenyan bank to buy a Kenyan bank. Why? There are sectors in Kenya that are already doing well. You don't need to do anything. Unakujaga na kifagio ya kufagia pesa. One is banking. A bank in Kenya, the only bank that doesn't make money in Kenya is the one that the owners are stealing from the bank. Maybe the small banks which are not. So, I usually wonder, why do an economy allow somebody to come and make money in a sector that obviously makes money? It's FDI, yes, but is there enough money in Kenya for people? For example, you in diaspora can easily take over NCBA. Perhaps being taken over by Netbank. But it has a P ratio of 7. So it had a P ratio less even before the transaction. So if somebody comes to buy KCB with a P ratio of 4 and we sell it to them, of course they will be repatriating profits like all the other ones with what they do. I think we should make it very difficult for anyone to do that. I agree, but this issue of nationalism somehow has to percolate in the economy. FDI should come, but not in the obvious sectors that obviously make money. That you can just own a bank and sleep and you'll make money. You'll borrow money from CPK using CPRA and then lend it to the same government using a government bond and make the margin 0 effort. Anyway, I think I was already going past the question. Alan, Mansa X and the rest. Warren Buffett lives here. You are no more closer to Warren Buffett than me, because me, I live in Kenya. And he says, over-diversification is done by people who don't know what they are doing. You only over-diversify when you don't know what you are doing. If you put up nyama choma here and ugali and buffet ya vitu kama 50, ya vitu 50, me, I'll go to nyama choma first, and then the space that ile inabaki kidogo ndio utaweka kaugali. Because you've already known what nyama choma tastes. So you don't need to balance your sahani with 50 different portions. You only do that when you see in a buffet, you go to Daira. You never eaten anything on the buffet. So you are just dancing. If this is bad, this is likely to be good. So unaweka vitu mingi. Even in investments, when you know exactly what you are doing and you've done the research, and you can see a P ratio of 3, why do you need to buy a P ratio of 13 to balance the P ratio of 3? You can only do that if you don't know there is a P ratio of 3 and a P ratio of 13. That's when you balance up, because you don't know. The right research leads you to being specific. I was telling Ruth when we were coming, in my portfolio maybe I have no more than 5 stocks. Because when you over-diversify, you engage in zero sum. Zero sum is, you make money here, but the loss here, it nets off. So you are not making any money. Because the loss here offsets the profit here. Don't over-diversify. You know, you've been here for 3 hours, I've been talking, and you've been sitting, imagine all that, been tired. And you still live here, and you're 10 million, you still invest based on what your cousin told you. So what I mean is, being now more specific by first of all being broad in research. Go for example, study energy sector, banking sector, insurance sector, even commercial and allied. It will take you hours with AI to know a lot about those companies. Start zeroing in. When you go to banking sector and you are buying for banks, Warren Buffett says this. When you rank, you know you do ranking when you are investing. You rank number 1, hey, this company is attractive and valued. 1, it's profitable. 2, okay, this is number 2. 3.
up to number 10. Are we together? Then he asks, what are you doing with number 10? It is you who ranked. You ranked number Choma, and all the people predicted, according to the general economic theories, that there will be very high unemployment in Albania because there are so many people who have gone back home. What happened is that after they went back and the data was taken afterwards, the reverse happened. Unemployment went down in Albania and wages and incomes went up. Then this was a paradox for everyone. So they had to dig deeper. They realized the people in Albania who had went to Greece came back home with new knowledge and new know-how. So they started, there were no jobs for them. So they started companies. Those companies employed the Albanians who previously never had jobs. So the economy of Albania became better by having an influx of people going back home. You are in the US and the other places in this intervening period. I believe Kenya will need you very soon to come back home with your know-how, with your experience, because there will be many opportunities back at home for you. And we must not go past the generations of the children of the parents who are here. That we must make our country better, so that even when people come back home, they have a good atmosphere to thrive, to exercise their ingenuity, to exercise their hard work, because the systems will reward them. And if we do that, we expand the cake, we bake a bigger cake, and instead of people from Kenya coming to look for greener pastures in the US and elsewhere, we will have other African countries from Asia and other places coming to Kenya to look for greener opportunities. And that is the Kenya I see very soon. And I know it will dawn on us. Thank you very much, and may God bless us.
Wow, thank you, Monsignor. God bless you. Thank you, Sana. Thank you. That is the Kenya he sees, that is the Kenya we see, and that is the Kenya we want. Let's appreciate him again, ladies and gentlemen. So again, thank you for hanging out with us, being patient. Thank you so much. I believe you've learned, you've enjoyed, you've had a good information that you can carry with you. Weshima would like to take some few pictures with you before you leave. So and I know a number of you have come to me and requested that. We'd like to do that. I'd like to acknowledge and appreciate a number of groups in Massachusetts that have done so well, especially in supporting different groups and supporting this event as well. How many people know of Samrak Group? Yeah, you know of Samrak? Yeah. Mr. CEO of Samrak is right here, so let's appreciate Samrak and the group. And then the other one, I think we have Group 106.
Yeah, we're here.
We're here. Okay, we're here. Let's appreciate 106. There is also the big and the famous Moranga Group. Ladies and gentlemen, let's appreciate them. There is group number 108. Group 118. Let's appreciate group number 118 as a whole. And I don't know where you're investing your money, and I hope you learned a thing or two today. So, and there is also the Gedogori Group. Yes, let's. Do you belong into a group that we did not mention?
Flamingo group. So we have Flamingo. Yes, so we it's about time. You can hear me.
Oh, you can hear me? Okay, good. So there is a Kirinyaga group, there is Jenga's group, there is Remuru group. Did you mention your group? The Red Jacket group, the Queen Jacket group. All these groups, I think we have learned something that we can take to our groups. We also like to appreciate and acknowledge the clergy and the Kenyan American Pastors Fellowship, and whose president is sitting here with us. Let's appreciate Bishop Wayaki Asante Sana. Was with us last night. You hosted Mweshimiwa with the team of the clergy. He's still here with us. So we absolutely appreciate you. I'll call my brother to do a quick vote of thanks. And then for the pictures, we'll try to do it as quickly as possible so that we can exit the room. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, habari yenu tena, nimerudi. Hebu jipigieni makofi kwa kukaa kidogo. Kwa niaba ya kamiti ambayo ilikuwa imejenga siku ya leo, wale tulipatana nao kutoka Saturday last week, nataka kuambia asanteni sana kwa kuja. We have a Sam Rack group. We also have administrators wakubwa wa Sam Rack group. Weko pande gani? Asimameni upesi. Oscar, Tom, Jenga. This is our CEO. Weko wengine hao ndio wakubwa wa hii group in this neighborhood. Mheshimiwa, asante sana kwa kuja. Mwenyezi Mungu akubariki. Na pia mnakaa hapo wachungaji, Chairman Jomo, Ruth, Jenzi. Hebu simama tupigie ama Jenzi. I would also like to thank World of Worship. Could you call Mr. Kangede, please? And all the people who have done logistics. Kadhuru, wale walikuwa wamekubeba, huyo ndio dereva yetu. Walikuwa nafanya kazi na Shakameta kitambo, that's what he says. Francis. That is Francis Kangede, and they are the ones who gave us this hall. Let's clap for him. Thank you very much. And if I have missed saying thank you to you, God bless you, and God will tell you, thank you on the other side. Tunaenda mahali sahi na mheshimiwa utapigwa picha kidogo tu. Kidogo. Na ule alikuwa ametuintroduce kwa mheshimiwa ni Mr. Engineer Daniel Muturi all the way from Oregon. Pigeni makofi. I believe we should stand, say the grace, because we are supposed to be heading somewhere by 9. Haya, tusemame tu, wale wako na kofia. We say the grace because mheshimiwa alikuwa amengojwa somewhere 9 o'clock. We are doing 9:05 and they are calling us. May the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ and the love of God and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with us now and forevermore. Kama tumekuacha nje ya speech, usijali, ni masaa imeharibika kidogo, tupigwe picha kidogo alafu tuende. Asanteni sana. And by the way, let's clap for our MC, my co-MC here. Good job, Amos.
All right, thank you. On the 16th and 17th and 18th of July, if you need your passport renewed, the Embassy Consular Services will be in Boston, so keep an eye on that. Please join the group that is called The Passport through the leadership of Pastor Nancy. So as far as the picture goes, let's remove the chairs. Yes. Let's remove the chairs completely. Yes. There will be dinner right after on the 18th. Yes.
Hello everyone. If you know anybody who needs passport and ID or certificate, birth certificate issues and all those things, 16, 17 and 18, where we had the last one. If you know somebody, please spread the news or spread the gospel. 16, 17 and 18 July. And then on Saturday, on 18th July, we will go up to 12 because we have a dinner, a free Kenyan dinner. If you are interested to come for the dinner, please, my number is 978-328-7343. Please let me know. First come, first serve. We just need 200 people. It's a free dinner.
Thank you. So let's come. If you want to join, please, the group picture. We'll do a group picture along where she wants to see. Yes. So if you can join us, please, for the group picture. Tafadhali, let's do this quickly. The group picture, please. Okay. All right, okay. So this picture goes in 3. Where's our photographer? Yes, Tafadali. We can't force you to join the picture, but we'd love you to join us. All right, hold on. You guys want to join? Yeah, it's for everybody. This is everybody's picture. We're taking a group, yes.
You wanna come? You come now.
All right, okay. Tafadhali, hold on that picture with, this is a perfect group picture. Tafadhali, Mr. Nana, you're holding the traffic, huh? Mr. Gaduru, tafadhali, join us. Yes, thank you. Thank you. All right.
Okay, don't move yet.
All right, in 3, 2, 1.
No, don't move yet, because we're gonna come to.
All right, guys, we're gonna go. The picture goes in 3.
Hold on, guys.
Thank you. All right, in 3. Okay, perfect. In 3, 2, 1.
Don't move yet, okay?
No, we also have our official photographer from Mheshimiwa. Please give him space.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
Yes. Gentlemen. Yeah. All right, in 3, 2, 1. In 3, 2, 1. All right, let's all remind Mheshimiwa we stand for one term. Let's go in 3, 2, 1. One term. All right, thank you very much. We'll take individual pictures with Mheshimiwa. Mheshimiwa, you want to go to move to the other side? I'm so sorry. Mheshimiwa, if you could come here. I can talk that I didn't have it. Yes. So we'll take a right here to the. Mheshimiwa, come to the. Yes, if you're able to. Okay. So the pictures will be here. Please go around. Yeah. Can you please help me move this chair? Yes. Please leave the phone with the.
Where's Nyambura? I know this guy over there.
Okay, the first picture. Are you part of this picture? Okay. All right. Let's move back a little bit. Okay. All right, in 3, 2, 1. In 3, 2, 1. In 3, 2, 1. Okay, next picture, please. We gotta go. Next picture, please. Okay. All right, in 3, 2, 1. In 3, 2, yes, thank you. Please give your phone to someone who is here. Now you're all right, in 3, 2, 1. Oh, you're next. Okay, in 3, 2. In 3, 2, 1. In 3, 2, 1. Okay, perfect. In 3, 2, 1. Yeah, next picture, please. Next picture, please. Next. After that. In 3, 2, 1. Next picture, please. 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 Which one is? In 3, 2, 1. All right. Next picture, please. In 3, 2, 1. Next, tafadhali. In 3, 2, 1. Next picture, please. Give them space too. In 3, 2, 1. Next picture, please. In 3, 2, 1. Next picture, please. In 3, 2, 1. Yes. 3, 2, 1. Next picture, please. We're almost wrapping up. In 3, 2, 1. Next picture, please. Next one. Next. Next in 3, 2, 1. Next picture, please. In 3, 2, 1. Next picture, please. Yeah, in 3, 2, 1. Next picture, please. 3, 2, 1. Next picture, please. Next. 3, 2, 1. That's a good one. Next picture, please. In 3, 2, 1. Next picture, please. 3, 2, 1. Next picture, please. In 3, 2, 1. Next picture, please. 3, 2, 1. Yes. Next picture, please. In 3, 2, 1. Next picture, please. In 3, 2, 1. Next picture, please. 3, 2, 1.
Long before I came here.
All right, thank you so much. Mr. Duro, if you can help me take the machine out. In 3, 2, come on, no, Gen Z, come on, open. Gen Z, anyone? Gen Z, come on, Gen Z. Run, quick. Come on, Gen Z. Get in the picture, Go on the other side. All right, Gen Z. That's a beautiful picture right there. I love it. Thank you. Beautiful. In 3, 2. Yes. This is the last picture. If you need a picture, you do it now, because he's leaving. You want another one? Are you sure?
Hey, how are you? Good to see you, Sylvia.
I need to balance the gender in that forever. Thank you.
No, let me rush.
I'm loving it.
And one more.
Oh, that's it. That is streaming.
Haya.